We all know Louis Vuitton is a popular brand, but fake Louis Vuitton is even more popular nowadays. So here I am today sharing with you all my tips and tricks on how to authenticate a Neverfull Louis Vuitton bag. That being said, if you're into buying a resale Louis Vuitton or you just want to know if your cousin is wearing a real Louis Vuitton bag, make sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and just keep on watching. Being a buyer at a luxury consignment store requires a lot of authenticating, and I get asked a lot from my customers, you guys on Instagram, how I authenticate a real Louis Vuitton. So today I'm focusing on the Neverfull bag from Louis Vuitton in a damier print. And I have two sizes here. One is in the size GM, which is the biggest size, and one in the size MM. I asked you guys a couple of weeks ago, or like 10 days ago, which one of these bags are the real one. And most of you guys said this one is the real one, but actually, the big bag is the real bag and this one is the fake one. Neverfull comes in two different materials, one in canvas and one in leather. The canvas one comes in two different design. One is the monogram, which is the LV logo all over the bag, or the damier print, which I have here. Damier actually divides in three different colors. One is the azure, which is the beige, the ivory color with the very dark navy checkers. And the ones that I have here, it's called a bean damier, which is the darker brown with the darker beige mix. And the menswear accessories, they come in graphite. The graphite checker colors are the gray checker with the black. And if you see any damiers, any women wear, handbags, anything in women in graphite print, it's fake. Only men's accessories, they come in graphite. I'm just letting you guys know. No Neverfull comes in a graphite print. Other than the canvas, the Neverfull also comes in leather, which is the very popular leather, epi leather. It has like a little lines and they are thin layers of leather, very packed to each other, which I can have a separate video about that bag by itself. So if you're interested, just let me know down below in the comment section. Next, what you want to know is they come in three different sizes. One is the PM, which is the small size, the MM, the medium, the fake one I have here, and the GM, which is the biggest size. No more sizing. Sometimes they try to make them in between. No. That's not the real bag. The very first thing I pay attention as soon as I receive a damier bag in the store is the handle and the stitching. I'm not too crazy about the alignment, which we're gonna get to it, why I don't really rely on alignments. The strap post, make sure when you take a look at it, it's not too sharp or too almondy in the front. I saw a lot of replicas to be too sharp and pointy on the bottom. This is a short bottom. This is the fake bag, and when you pay close attention, you see the stem, it's pretty sharp comparing to the other one. Also, the stitching on this, it's very, very important. The stitching should be super clean, evenly spaced from each other, and there should be a very symmetrical and clean V right over here, which as you can see, it got like 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches on this side and more on that side. They always, the stitches are 5 on each side. And also pay attention that number of stitches on each side should be equal with the other side, and obviously this one is not. There are some double stitching going on the post. They did not a bad job in placing it right below the V, because the real bag, the double stitch is right below the V and they follow that. And also one other place guys, is on the very bottom right here. 4 of the stitches should be double stitched, 2 on this side and 2 on that other side. And this fake bag, it's only 1 stitch, so it's not the double stitch. Now we know why it's fake. Let's compare it with the real one. They are 1, 2, 1, 2 double stitch on each side. Also, there is a very neat double stitch on the bottom of each side of the V. The V also, the stitches are equal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, this V-shaped thing, it's meant to be their logo, LV. When you look at it in an angle of 45 degrees, you see the L, and when you look straight ahead, it's a V. And most of the fake bags, they cannot perfect that V and L shape. What else? The next thing I pay a very close attention to is the drawstring strap and the hardware on it. This is still the real bag. If you pay closer attention to the drawstring, you see the double stitching going on here too. 1, 2, 3 above the ring. Also, there is 2 right over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you see more stitches than 3 right here, you know the bag is fake. Also, there are more double stitching right over here next to the little plug here. It's 1, 2 double stitch. There is more 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double stitch on the calf where you can like adjust the strap, and there are always 3 double stitching on the D ring. Now let's take a look at the fake bag and compare it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and they are single stitched. They're not double stitched, except the very last one. Here's the tricky part. If you pay attention, you see they followed the stitching rule right next to the post. There are 4 double stitch right here, but make sure you check all the stitches everywhere, because in some places they might follow it and some places not. That way they can throw you off and just sell you the fake bag. On the calf, they're supposed to be, oh, this is very stiff. One more thing, guys, the fake leathers are super stiff. If you pay attention to the calf, you see only how many stitches? There are 3, which is supposed to be 4 double stitch, and I only see 1 and 2. The one in the middle, it's not the double stitch, it's single stitch. And this is the best part. The stitching, it's super messy on the other side. Stitching supposed to be and meant to be super neat for these type of bags. You pay for the art and craftsmanship. One last thing about this stitching on the post is just make sure, a lot of Louis, they follow the same rule on all their bags. From the very top to the V, it's supposed to be only 7 or 8 stitches. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Versus this fake bag, this side is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But when you look at the other side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they're not matching up. Also, the drawstring post needs to have this little dome shape, not too sharp, not too sphere or circle looking. Needs to be in a perfect short dome shape, and the hardware on it needs to have the embossed monogram, like engraved monogram. The gold, it's very gold, it's barely oxidized unless it's super duper vintage. And if you compare it with the fake bag, the fake post is very circle and sphere, and when you see it in person, you can see the parts of the leather, the thickness, it's not even comparable with the real bag. It's just super stiff and unreal looking. You guys, one last thing about the stitching, make sure to pay close attention to the color of the linen stitch. It's a very top quality linen, and usually the fake bags, the color is a bit off. It has like an orange red undertone, versus the real Louis Vuitton, actually is a very muted brown, so make sure of that. The next step for me usually is the heat stamp. The heat stamp on the bags are very, very important. Like, this is a real one, the real bag. So the heat stamp, it's this guy on the pocket. This is the heat stamp. It's actually embossed very deep. If you pay closer attention to the Louis Vuitton on the top, the L, the bottom of the L right over here, it's super short comparing to the regular L we write, and the O is oversized right next to the L, and it's very, very circly sphere O. And some of the replicas, the O, it's more of an oval shape. And I mean, the super vintage ones, sometimes the O could be looking like an oval, but the more current ones, the O, it's super sphere and circle. The most important thing on the heat stamp is the R. The little R supposed to be right above, in between the V and the U in the circle, and the R, it's very, very clean. It's very tiny. There is nothing else said except either France, depending on the year of the bag, or made in France. Again, pay attention to the stitching here. As you can see, it's very, very neat, evenly spaced out. The stamp right here where the Louis Vuitton on the pocket is, it's a high quality stamp. It's not gonna fade away over time. And let's compare it with the fake bag. Take a look at the fake one. The fake's heat stamp has color. They did a pretty good job on the L and O, but the R is actually bigger and it's not very aligned above the V and U. The made in France, it's not very aligned. However, the stitching, it's not too bad. The hardware, it's not too bad, but the color of the pocket, it's way off comparing to the real bag. I hope it fits in the frame. So the red here, it's more pale comparing to this red. It has a pink undertone. The stitching on the pocket, it's very, very poor stitching. It's very bad. The corners are kind of crooked. The stamp is not in a best shape, and also it's getting a little like ballsy. The fabric, it's not the best to canvas comparing to this one. One last thing, as I said, stitching, it's very important. So make sure when you look at this part of it, it's supposed to be 5 stitches right here, which they followed it, and there should be 2 double stitch on the bottom, which only is 1 right over here. Always compare the both side with each other and all the stitching. I can't say enough about this stitching. Stitching is everything. Make sure you store your bags very well, especially the canvas one, because they can break. So make sure to leave them stuffed and display them in your closet. Don't fold them because they can get the shape of the folding. The next thing I usually pay attention, it's a date code. Actually, there is a website which I'm gonna link it down below, and it's all about the date codes on the bags. I put it on the screen at my job, and we refer to that website all the time for making sure that the date codes are real, because these fake bags, they come out with the serial code. This is not a big deal when it comes to the date code. If it's an older bag, it's very important to look for the date code. But I talked to an associate at the Louis Vuitton recently, and she mentioned that the bags from like 2020, they're gonna stop doing the serial codes in the bag, and the only way you're gonna know by going by the date code would be getting it only from the Louis Vuitton store, because they have this certain and special light that they put the bag underneath those lights. For us, being a normal human and not having that machine, we won't be able to read the code. If you see anything in like 2 years coming out and there is no code, just remember I said it, there might not be any serial code in the future. That's why I focus much on the feel, the leather, the stitching, the hardware, the zipper, and all the other jam comparing to the date code. But the date code is important too, so I'm gonna show you guys where the date code is. The date code is stamped on the leather, attached into the right hand corner of the inner pocket. The 2 letters of of the alphanumeric code is the country of the manufacturer. The 4 digits, the first and the third, stand for the week, and second and fourth digits for the year of the manufacturer. That's why I said I'm gonna put the link down below in the description box just in case.